Hello everyone. I thought today we would look at making passwords. What makes a good secure password? This is important for when we go online for bank accounts and credit card accounts, social media accounts. We don't want scammers and hackers to get into these sites. They have sophisticated software that they use to actively guess at your passwords. And so you have to be ahead of the game here. And so we're going to look at some of the rules that make good passwords. Here's some commonly used passwords that were used last year, but it turns out they're not very secure. Let's look at a couple of them. This was very popular a while back. And let's test this. I'm going to test it with a password checker that I found on this site. It's got 3 different checkers, but I like the last one the best. And this last one by Geek Wisdom, it gives it a score of 7 out of 50. So it's a very weak password. It's just lowercase letters, so it's not very strong. I thought we'd look at one more. Let's look at this one here. And we'll test this one out and see how strong this one is. And this is a little stronger. It's got a score of 20 out of 50, but it's still considered weak. And so let's look at some rules on what makes a good password. First of all, it should have at least 8 characters. Today they're saying it should have at least 14 or even 16 characters, especially if it's something like a bank account or something that's important to you. You don't want scammers to get into there. Ideally, it should have 4 different types of characters, and those should be a combination of lower and uppercase letters, numerals, and symbols. We'll look at that in a minute. Third, try to make it something that's easy for you to remember. It's useless if you can't remember it. And you can use a simple phrase or a list or a string of words. I'm going to be showing you some passwords using simple phrases. Fourth, write down your password, but use clues and hints so that if someone should find it, they won't know what it is, and only you can decipher it. And fifth, for important sites, you can use something called double protection, and I'll show you what this is in a minute. Some more rules. Also, avoid using dictionary words. This is in their playbook already. You don't want to use just a regular word. Proper names, such as your pets' names, children's names, spouses' names, even nicknames. Common phrases, such as popular lyrics or well-known quotes, nursery rhymes. These are all well-known. Personal numbers, such as addresses or phone numbers, you don't want to use that. You have to assume that scammers have some of this information, and it makes it too easy for them to guess. And also, don't use your personal information on a password. Let's look at some passwords, and we'll test them out. This is a well-known one. To be or not to be, that is the question. Shakespeare's famous quote. And we'll test this out and see how it comes out on the checker. We'll enter. Okay, this is, now it's clever. I admit that. It's clever because it's got, to be or not, a whole phrase in literature, but it's very weak. and it's well known. And so hackers know this too. Here's a nursery rhyme, well known. And if you convert it into a code, it comes out something like this. Let's see how secure this is. We'll paste this in. And this is stronger. It's fairly strong, but it can be stronger, and it's too well known. Hackers use these little shortcuts too, and so it's not a good password. If you have an original phrase, a phrase that you can make up, such as this one, I will never forget that my brother was born on April 19th at Lafayette General Medical Center. Okay. Convert that into a code, and you'll have something like this. Let's see how strong this one is. Now this is copying everything except the punctuation. Let's see. Okay, it's getting a little higher. Score of 38 out of 50. Let's see if we add a period here. It'd be stronger. Let's see if it was an exclamation. Okay. So if you have something like a special character, it'll make it a lot stronger. Now, this is very strong, but it can be even stronger. What if we were to use something called double protection? And say like we have our password, and I look at it and I say, oh, it's got the word if in it. Let's assign an exclamation point for the I and a question mark for the F. So assign exclamation and question mark. And so you're using that same code as before, but you're adding a second layer of protection. And so you get this. Let's see how strong this one is. Copy, paste. And it comes out much stronger. It's got a score of 50 out of 50. And so now it's also got 20 characters. But if it's a phrase that you're likely to remember, it's easy to remember a phrase, and so it's nothing to put something like this in. And it's strong because it's got 4 special characters. It's got 4 uppercase letters, a lot of lowercase letters, and 3 numbers. So it makes it extra strong. Anyway, if you want more information about creating secure passwords, you can go to this website, which I used on over here. And it's got a lot of good information that you can use. I hope this helps. Good luck on making passwords in the future, and have a good day. Goodbye.